how to properly stabilize a wormhole. So, to understand how to stabilize a wormhole, you must first understand what a wormhole is. Our universe is of three dimensions, or four are multiple dimensions of one single universe, which are layer by layer. So in order to access those layers, you must rip apart the entire hole literally into our universe in order to access to other dimensions and places in our universe. So first, to start off with, these are all the things that the universe has that so far we have discovered. All the way from dwarf planets, meteorites, waves of solar waves, electronic waves, a multiple show-off galaxy, suns, and planets in a solar system, and then our galaxy of multiple magnetic waves. Our galaxy is made off the simple in a base plus and minus wave, but there are multiple types known as, there's one called B minus, one called C plus, there is one called DE plus B, but those are only just some of them. There are plenty more which we have not discovered and we have discovered. So let's retain another piece of paper from the cabinet here, and I got to retain my pencil. Pencil. Ooh, the pencils are good. Okay. Well, so now that you know what you're cutting into here and how the wormhole is formed is by the basis of electronic waves that deaccelerate into a fashion that causes a plus and the minus to form an insidious equivalence of each other that with distortion the universe's outer layer and force it to ripple into multiple fractions like this to start with, for what I can tell. This to end off the basics. Here we go. And it slowly forms something of the same circumference and ability of a hole. Looks more like a diamond, right? Well, as you see, it slowly starts to expand into an oval, then into something bigger, more of an oval, something like this, and then one more, and then the wormhole was formed. Sure, your captions, the sphere would be at a tad 0.3 off like this. Not 4, 3, like this. And then one more right here, and just a pinch of a distortion there, and then you have a wormhole. But how to stabilize such a fierce and ungrievable amount of an item? To stabilize the wormhole, it is not as simple as it seems to look. If it looks simple at all. To stabilize the wormhole, you must inquire by using a magnetic stabilizer. Of course, well, that seems simple. In the atom base form of what the wormhole mainly is. It is a form of multiple layers of dark, light, and multiple matters which are all formed up. So you need something that can stabilize that, and that would stabilize your wormhole. Keep it at a surrounding area at a high dex frequency of 3.14965 size 5s could determine more or less. May also require multiple stabilizers. E stands for establize, and establize means the same as stabilize, and non-stabilize means the same as not being stabilized. It's just a form like enable and non-able. Quite simple geometrics here in geometry, in base studies of patterns of magnetic solar interference, and many other items. My little wormhole there, circumference and circles, and so forth. When you tear a boat, since it's a multiple of dimensions, since it tears a hole in one place, since it's a multiple of dimensions, when you tear any part of the universe, since it is assumed a flatter scale, yet a circumference of a multiple 3D and 4D in multiple scales, once you tear one part of the universe, all the way to the other side of the universe would be tear 2, and that's where you'd come out. So you'd be at the other side of the universe, technically. Done.